Welcome back to Cooking with Glenn and Katie.
Today we'll be making two of my favorite types of pickles. One's a dill pickle and we call it BaIsaac pickle. We got another pickle that's a sweet, salty, and sour pickle. Two different pickles, but I believe you'll love both of them.
They're really, really good. So we're actually going to be starting this video about a week ago because with pickles you gotta let them sit for a little bit. So let's rewind about a week.
Today I'm going to be making two different types of refrigerator pickles. The first one is sweet, sour, and salty pickles, and the other one is a dill type pickle, kind of like Clausen pickles if you've ever had those. For the first recipe for the sweet, salty, sour refrigerator pickles, let's get started. I cut up all the different things that will go into it from the garden. Let's look at them. I cut up a sweet white onion. This is a Vidalia onion. And then from our garden, I had some cucumbers, and I cut up about 6 cucumbers. And it's about over a quart of cucumbers. So I'm gonna put these in here. So you can put some green tomatoes in here. Put some tomatoes. And then I've got my peppers coming off, and these are some yellow peppers. So I thought I'd bring some color in. So I've got some yellow peppers. So all these are together. I'll mix these up. Now I'm going to put pickling spices in. It takes 1 tablespoon of pickling spices. And here they are. We'll sprinkle them all over here. The next thing I'll be putting in are some celery seeds. I didn't have whole celery seeds, so I'm using some ground celery seeds. They'll work just as well. And now I'm going to add some garlic. I sliced the garlic up, and it's in slices. I'm going to add that. That's 2 cloves of garlic. And finally, I'm going to add 1/4 cup of salt. This is pickling salt. It doesn't have iodine in it. So I'm going to add this. I'm going to stir everything together very well. And I'm going to let it sit for 2 hours so that the water can be pulled out of the vegetables. Okay, I've mixed everything up very well. The salt is equally distributed. Now we're going to set it aside for a couple hours when we make the BaIsaac pickles. Before we get on to the BaIsaac pickles, the last thing I need to do is add some white distilled vinegar to some white sugar. I've got 2 cups of white sugar, and I've got 2 cups of white vinegar. I'm going to stir it, and I'm going to let it sit, and ever so often I'm going to stir it until it's all dissolved. I don't need to heat this because it will dissolve without heating.
Oh, I've been making BaIsaac pickles for 5 years. I really like how they taste. Now it's time to make the BaIsaac pickles.
Alright, Isaac, if you'll add 1.5 quarts of water to the pan here. Okay, and if you'll add the 2 cups of distilled vinegar, clear or white distilled vinegar. And I have a 1/2 cup of salt that needs to be added. Be very careful with it because it may spill. Wait till you get, now you can dump it. Okay. There you go. It's important to have canning and pickling salt. You don't want any with iodine in it, so you want plain salt, but the best is the canning and pickling salt. Now we're going to add 1/2 tablespoon of mustard seed. Now we'll add 1/3 cup of dried minced onions. Now we're going to add about 6 cloves of garlic, minced. And finally we'll add the teaspoon of hot pepper flakes.
Now I'm going to stir it together and heat it till it boils. I'm going to put a sprig of dill in each one of the jars.
We're going to cut some cucumbers. The first thing you need to know is that there's, of course, 2 sides of a cucumber. One is the stem side and one is the bloom side. And if you don't cut the bloom side off about 1/8 of an inch, then the pickles can get soft. So they look kind of the same to me, so let's just cut both sides off. So Isaac, you'll be cutting about 1/8 of an inch off of this side, and 1/8 of an inch off that side. Okay, so you've got ends cut off. And then I want you to cut it in half. Just go straight down in half, like that. And then you go in the middle and cut it again in half. You can do it that way, or you can do it that, turn it that side and go across. Then once you do that, you put it in the jar. Okay, so we'll fill it up that way.
Now it's time to put the pickling solution on the cucumber. First I put the canning funnel on top of the jar, and I'm going to stir up the pickling solution and ladle it in. I stir real good each time. I'm going to wipe the edges off. And I'm going to put the lid on. And there you go. I'm going to leave it on the counter for 3 days, and each day I'm going to flip it over and then back so the spices get all over the cucumbers. And then at the start of the 4th day, I'm going to put it in the refrigerator. When it's been in the refrigerator for a day, you can start eating them.
Isaac! Oh, I have some great information to share with you. What? Do you know what Ray and I call these?
No, what?
Twofer pickles. Do you know why we call them that? What's twofer? I'll tell you what twofer is. Twofer is when we're done eating these pickles from here, we actually save the solution and the jar, and we cut up new cucumbers and put them in the same solution, do the same process, letting them sit for a few days, and you have another set of pickles just with this one set of solution. So that's why we call them 2-for-1 pickles, 2-for pickles.
I get it.
Now that we've made the BaIsaac pickles, we're going to hop back to these sweet, salty, and sour pickles. I've let them sit for a long time. I would say sit for a couple hours. And look at the juices that are here. So I'm going to use a colander to drain the juices out of the pickles. And now I'm going to put the cucumbers and green tomatoes and onions and peppers into a big jar. I call it my summer Munch jar. And then I'll put the solution on top. And finally, I'll put the sugar mixture on top. Sugar and vinegar mixture. There we go. Now this summer, when it empties, I can fill it back up. So I'll use this solution all summer long. After we made the pickles, every day I would take the pickle jars and I would flip them upside down and bring them this right back side up again. And when Isaac would come over, when we make these pickles, I'd say, Isaac, it's time to flip. And he would flip, shake, and turn it back around. So we left them out on the counter for 3 days, and then we put them into the refrigerator. And so now they're ice cold, they're ready to taste. Look at this. These are the dill pickles that we made, and you may be able to see the spices in there. And then we also had, these are the sweet, sour, and salty pickles, and we put those straight into the refrigerator. But as the time progressed through the week, I added some onions and I added some green tomatoes as I acquired them out in the garden. And so it made 2 quarts of pickles with that recipe. Now the dill recipe, I had 6 pints.
Joining us for the taste test is Ray.
Okay guys, you have the equipment. I've got my fork. You got your fork, Isaac? All right, Ray, I see you got yours.
Yeah, good to go.
Okay, be careful, they're kind of sharp. So we're going to try the dill pickle to begin with. And this is called a BaIsaac dill pickle because it was created by BaIsaac. So that's how we got the name. So Ray, go ahead and get one.
All right.
Stab it. Be careful, don't hurt yourself. All right, all right. Okay, taste it. It was less than a second.
That's a fresh pickle. It's like a firehouse pickle almost. Very crunchy and flavorful and good.
Like Ray said, it is very crunchy and good.
Now it's my time. I'm pork proficient, so I think I can hold on to my dill pickle. It is good. Makes your eyes kind of mess up a little bit because it does have a little sour taste, but very good. I love these pickles.
Now it's my time to try it. Oh look, I'm evidently pork proficient too. Those are delicious. They're salty, they're crunchy, and excellent pickles.
Now on to the sweet, sour, and salty pickle. I don't know what order it is. Sweet, sour, salty, the 3 S's. I guess we could call it 3S pickles. I don't know. But here we go. Now note that it has onion. It's got some green tomatoes in here. Look at that green tomato there. It's got some cucumbers in there. So I think I'm gonna get an onion and a little pickle. Well, no, that's a big pickle, a medium-sized pickle. I love these. They're tasty. They have the pickling spices in them, and so they have that flavor. Very good. Here you go, Isaac. Oh, you're not finished. Ray, finally go ahead.
All right, I'm gonna try onion as well, and I'm just gonna take this big old pickle here. All right. I am a bread and butter kind of pickle guy through and through, and these are really good. They're so much fresher than the ones you buy at the store. Got just the right amount of sweetness in them, and the crunch is really good, as you can probably hear. But yeah, these are my favorites. I love these bread and butter sweet pickles. They're my favorite.
Okay, here we go. I'm gonna try these. I'm gonna get a pickle. Well, they're all pickles. I'm gonna get a cucumber. Crunchy and satisfying. They're sweet. They still have the pickling spices like Dad mentioned. But they are delicious, and you can definitely tell the different flavors of the other vegetables that they were, I guess, pickled with. I'd have to say that I love both of them for exactly how they are individually, but these may be my favorite.
Those were some excellent pickles. They turned out very well. I've got enough that will last for about a month. Do you want some? You'll send me some home?
Oh, I would love some.
Okay.
They're
I'll send you a cord of each one of them. All right? Okay, we'll share it.
That sounds amazing. I would love some pickles to take home. But thank you guys so much for watching today. We really appreciate it. If you haven't subscribed, please be sure to do so, and make sure to fill out the form in the description below, because if you subscribe and then fill out that form, you can actually get a free copy of our e-cookbook. And don't forget to give thumbs up, comment below, and we will see you guys next week.
See ya.